What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And if you're feeling extra spicy, you can join the channel by clicking that join button down below too, or heading on over to Patreon, link in the description, and joining up there. It's all very much appreciated, just like these people did. We had Timmy Oganyemi, and I hope I got your name right, brother. You know I love ya. Check this guy out on Twitter, hugely inspirational guy. Then we had Two Dope Kitchen join us, who is also another YouTuber who makes recipes, and I followed their vegan sloppy joes the other day, and it was amazing, so check them out too. But just a huge thank you to each and everyone for taking the time out of your days to be here, to spend some time listening to a story. And I know I say it every time, but I'm always thankful. So thank you so much. Let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, this first story comes from JettaBoy04. Am I the arsehole for calling my brother a jealous dropout? I'm in the process of retiring from the military after a 23+ year career, and my spouse and I are looking to move to Texas, which our family knows about. The other day I posted on my Facebook that we had begun the home search process and narrowed down roughly where we want to move. Most of my friends and family are of course excited and happy, though they do wish we would move closer. Family and in-laws live relatively close in either GA, SC or NC, so easy to visit, but they understand our reasoning in moving to Texas with the numerous veteran benefits. On the post, a couple of friends were asking what kind of house we were looking at, and I replied 4+ bed, 2+ bath, 2,500 square foot minimum. For some reason, this seemed to have struck a nerve with one of my brothers, who begins questioning why we want such a big house with just my spouse and I, as we don't have kids being a same-sex couple. I initially explained that we would have our master bedroom, a guest room, and since my spouse works from home, he can set up a room as an office like we have now, and then use another room for his video games and crafts. Currently his hobbies and work are all in one room, but we feel separating the two would give him a break from his work and playtime, so he doesn't feel like he spends all day in that one room. Also, we have floated the idea of adopting now, that we won't be moving every couple of years with the military. I thought that would be it, but no. My brother then proceeded to rant about how him and his girlfriend and her toddler live just fine in a micro home. It's a converted storage shed that resembles a home from the outside, and that all the extra space is going to be higher utility bills, taxes, and just wasted space. At this point I was irritated and replied, "Quit being a jealous dropout. I have bust my ass off for 23+ years to get where I am. Maybe if you hadn't dropped out of high school, you wouldn't be living in a storage building and judging how I spend my check." My spouse and a couple of family members and friends said that I went too far and was the arsehole for that response, and that I should apologise. I don't feel I owe anyone an apology. Am I the arsehole? Now, I think in this one the brother absolutely does deserve to be put in their place. You know, I would have probably laughed if I saw that comment going on Facebook, but I think in reality this is an everyone sucks here story, because, you know, he shouldn't have butted in and, you know, told you what you're spending your check on and being rude about that, but you didn't need to go low either. So it's a very slight everyone sucks here, but I still don't think you're really the arsehole, but just for the story's sake, everyone sucks here. But Bisclavet says, everyone sucks here. Your brother is the arsehole because no one forced him to respond to your post and write a sob story about his life. And you should not have stooped down to his level and kicked him in the rear. It's one thing to have a shouting match at home, it's another to post it in social media. And Smokey Moo says, everyone sucks here. He was being a complete prat. I love that word. And should have minded his own business. You completely blew a gasket and went low. Worth looking at why his judgment and pettiness made you want to tear him apart, rather than tell him to grow up, or simply delete his comments. And Embarrassed Strain 4 says, not the arsehole, he is jealous. Who the hell wouldn't be? He lives in a shed. Do you use a VA home loan though? I don't know what branch you were, OP, but Navy Federal Default USMC Bank was absolutely awesome and you don't have to put any money down. And Northern Lit Up says, meh, I'm gonna go with everyone sucks here. Your brother was way out of line, but you allowed yourself to stoop to his level with your response. You could have just ignored it and been the bigger person. And Carter says, everyone sucks here. You should not have shamed your brother's situation like that. Also, he had no business trying to change your lifestyle choices. You both owe each other an apology. And All About Bird says everyone sucks here. He shouldn't have bugged you about the house because it's none of his business, but if you think he is actually jealous of your success, then basically calling him a loser publicly was a low blow. You had the opportunity to be the bigger person. Now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation, and what is your verdict? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not switching places with my friend and ruining her life? This happened a couple of weeks ago, but I'm still getting shit about it. A friend of mine, Daya, fake name, asked me if I wanted to come with her on some errands and see a new car. I said yes because I had some things to get done and my car was being checked over. We're in the same bubble and stayed masked the whole time. Well, while we were out, Daya ended up hitting another car while turning left. We were both shaken but mostly fine. But when I started to call the police, Daya started freaking out even more. She started begging me not to call the cops and to just go and talk to the other driver. I didn't feel comfortable not calling them, so I went ahead and did. Then Daya started begging me to get into the driver's seat, saying I had to get in the driver's seat. I had to claim I was the one driving. Turns out Daya doesn't have a license. She needed/wanted a car but didn't feel like getting a license, so her mum bought her the car for her. I didn't feel comfortable lying to the police, so I continued to refuse and just got out of the car and waited on the sidewalk for them to get there. Well, Daya got arrested for driving without a license, insurance or registration for her car, and just told me today that she'd been found at fault for the accident. Now Daya, her mum, and half of our friends are saying I'm the arsehole for not just switching places. She is now facing multiple fines, possible jail time, and being kicked out of our MA program because of all this. I tried to explain that I didn't feel comfortable lying to the police, but she just keeps calling me a privileged bitch and wishing horrible things would happen to me. So am I the arsehole for not switching places with her? Edit, several people have said I should have included this in my post, and I'm sorry I didn't include it in the original post. This was much more serious than a fender bender. This was my response to someone else. She took the entire front of his car off, or at least it looked like it. We were in an intersection and we were in the left turn lane with a yellow light and didn't look before she went. The other gentleman was coming from the opposite way, going straight. Both cars are totaled. The gentleman was not unconscious as I originally thought, but he did hit his head on the steering wheel and he had to be taken to hospital. He did eventually get out of the car with help, and that's when I believe I should have talked to him. Dare and I were mostly alright with just some bumps and bruises. Edit 2, someone suggested I add to this because of people saying I'm the arsehole for calling the police, but for a major accident such as this one where I live, you're required by law to call the police and file a report. Now firstly, I know I might be the arsehole for butchering her name completely, Daya, I don't know which one it is, but I went with Daya anyway. Hopefully that is right. And I'm afraid this is all on your friend. She went ahead and made these choices. She got in the car, she drove without a license, insurance and all this sort of stuff. So this was on her. And for the accident, the way you've explained it in this, absolutely you should be calling the police in this situation, especially if someone's hurt, and an ambulance too. And no, don't sit in the seat. That's no friend to try and get you in trouble like that. You could get in serious trouble yourself if you both got caught, you know, like, is it fraud maybe? It might be called fraud, where you're trying to do that. So absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. This is all on your friend. But Revolutionary Bus says, not the arsehole, you could get into financial, legal trouble, insurance fraud for lying. You did the right thing. She's mad because she brought all this on herself. And Hello Friends replies to this saying, Daya is not a friend. Her request to switch seats would have landed OP in unnecessary legal and financial trouble. Everything she did that day is contrary to what the friend is supposed to do. Did she even ask OP if they were okay after the accident? I would cut her out my life and block anyone trying to blame you for not taking the fall. And I Am Heart says no, don't drive without a license. She wasn't even doing something heroic. She was running errands. If Dare is this mean to you, she's not a good friend. This isn't a white lie. This is literally not having a license or insurance, doing some dumb show-off car run, being in an MA program and getting her mum and friends to gang up on you. Find better friends. And Dirty Workout Clothes says, not the arsehole, she ruined her own life. She and her mum chose to be irresponsible. Not only did they do something illegal, but then asked you to do something illegal. Block her on all platforms. If she continues to harass you because she's an idiot that did idiotic things, tell her you're informed the police that you're being harassed. And DSZ says in quotes, now Daya, her mum, and half of our friends are saying I'm an arsehole for not just switching places. And then says, you don't need any of those people in your life. Not the arsehole, and I'm sad that for one moment you even considered you were one. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What would you do in this situation if one of your friends, they were in an accident and they said, oh, can you switch places, so you basically get the blame for it? Would you do it? Would you not? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my mother-in-law that I'm not the one with fertility issues? Me, 32 male, and my wife, 32 female, have been trying to have a baby for several years now. Unfortunately, she is probably unable to get pregnant. We've run several tests and it's only hers that's come back with bad news. Additionally, I accidentally got a girl pregnant a few years before I met my wife. The girl had an abortion. Point is, I can produce kids, but my wife probably can't. I don't blame this on my wife at all. In fact, I'm excited to talk about our other options. Adoption, surrogates, etc. I love my wife so much and I want to raise kids together, even if it's not biological. I was on the phone with my wife's mum the other day and she started saying some weird stuff. She said that it was okay that I couldn't have kids, but maybe we could find a sperm donor for my wife, and that she knew I'd be a good dad even if the kid wasn't related to me, etc. I was confused, so I told my mother-in-law that my wife was the one who was having fertility issues. My mother-in-law told me that my wife told her I was the one with the fertility issues. I was sure it was a harmless misunderstanding, so I talked about it with my wife, and she got really mad at me. She said I had no right to tell her mum that she was having issues getting pregnant. She said it was something very personal to her, and she felt awful just thinking about how her mum now knew it was her fault we can't have kids easily. It's not her fault, she didn't choose to have these issues. She said that it was her mum and I should have just gone along with it because she always wants to be seen as a good and capable in her mum's eyes. I feel bad, but I have no idea she had told her mum that it was me. Also, I don't know why she had to say who had issues with the fertility when she could just say that we are having issues. My wife said I was an arsehole for telling her mum. Am I? No, you're definitely not the arsehole in this situation, and I do feel sorry that, you've been dragged into this and, you've been told that you had to bring it up this way, and it's a shame the communication wasn't there between the two of you to begin with, and I'm afraid, and I hate to say it, because I feel so sorry for your wife at the same time, and I can't imagine how your wife is feeling having to tell her mum, that she's unable to have children at this moment in time, and it must feel really bad for her, but at the same time, this is on your wife. She's the one who's doing the lying behind your back and expecting you to just go along with it. I think it's very unfair to you at the same time. And trying to just imagine how the wife is feeling in the situation, the pressure she's under. I almost wanted to go with a no one is the arsehole here, but because she did lie and, said it was all on you kind of thing, it is just going to be I'm not the arsehole in this situation. But Acrobatic Sky 141 says not the arsehole. As someone who struggles with infertility, I know where your wife is coming from. I felt like a failure as a woman and didn't want to talk about it with people. However, her mother brought it up and you simply responded. If your wife wanted you to back up her lie, she should have told you about it. Communication between the two of you in this situation is key. If she and you hasn't talked to a therapist about this, I highly recommend it. And I Choose You Snorlax says, your wife decided to lie to her mother. Instead of being honest about her issues, she blamed them on you. Then she doesn't tell you she's lied about fertility issues to her mother. This is literally all her doing. The craziest part here is that her telling her mum about your totally fictitious reproductive issues is absolutely okay, yet you are correcting her mother about her fertility issues isn't. Oh, okay, that makes sense. /sarcasm. She's living in a glass house throwing boulders and blaming you for the mess. Ridiculous, not the arsehole. And DSZ says very easy, not the arsehole. This is years of infertility talking and it's all on me. My husband's described by your reproductive endocrinologist as having an honor roll member. Sorry. I only put that there because if anyone should be able to empathize with your wife, it's me. But I don't. I mean, I do with the infertility stuff, but not with lying to her mum, and not with double down and getting mad at you for not upholding the lie. How were you even to know? It's not like she pulled you aside and told you of her ruse, and asked her to help keep up the charade. Even if she did, you rightfully could/should have said no. Let's not give any info as opposed to giving false info. So huge not the arsehole from me. One thing though, 32 is so young. I hear that you've had tests. Have you gone through treatment? The prognosis doesn't have to be grim. I'm sitting here at 44 years old, finally getting pregnant after so many losses. I've had a less than 5% chance of it happening, but tenacity has seemingly won the day. Or we'll see if it does on/about 7th of the 4th 21. Good luck. And good luck to you too as well, DSZ. And what do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story comes from Tricklavian. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to scoop cat litter for my pregnant wife? My wife and I have a split chores that works well for us. She loves cats and I love her being happy. I'm maybe less than enthusiastic about cats than she'd prefer. One of the tasks in her column is to scoop the 3 litter boxes for our 3 indoor cats. Life has been good. Well, now she's pregnant, she's read that toxoplasmosis is a thing and that she shouldn't change cat litter. I've looked into this and just washing your hands after changing cat litter is all you need to do. I think the whole "I can't scoop litter for months" argument is a bit much. It seems like the standard advice of pregnant women shouldn't scoop litter is way overblown, but nobody ever tries to limit statements about things that could result in pregnancy issues. To quote Wikipedia, numerous studies have shown living in a household with a cat is not a significant risk factor for infection, though living with several kittens has some significance. I get being super extra careful, but this seems overboard in our house. I don't like to scoop litter and I don't like helping to encourage living in fear of things that are really unlikely to occur. Then there's a bit of an update after, which we're going to cover straight away on this one, even though it's basically responding to some of the comments. But full disclosure, I'm not actually an asshole. I value a good relationship and I'm not going to die on a hill of cat litter, so I'm scooping the damn boxes. I'm just bitter. Edit, this was actually a light-hearted topic for us. If anyone sees this in the future, I beg you, please don't buy a litter robot. They break way too often for something you pay so much for. You end up having a litter robot and extra backup litter boxes. Edit 2, I don't know how public health succeeded so amazingly well at creating concern of initial T. Gondii infections, did I pronounce that right, from adult indoor cats. And yet 25% of people don't want to wear masks indoors to slow the spread of COVID. I blame Warren Buffett. Edit 3, to those of you say she should divorce me, I agree. I don't think she should have married me in the first place. She has a history of making bad decisions. And whilst he said this was all a bit light-hearted, a bit of a light-hearted post and all this sort of thing, and he talks about, you know, it's a very rare chance of contracting anything like this, toxoplasmosis, what was going through my head the whole way whilst I was reading it is, why risk it? Why would you take the risk when all you got to do is pick up a bit of shit once in a while? Once a day or whatever. Just fucking do it, man. You said in the first paragraph, she loves cats and I love her being happy. So just pick up the poo. That's it, mate. That's all you gotta do. But Icefire Wolflord says, you're the arsehole. While toxoplasmosis is an incredibly rare congenital infection, it's still better safe than sorry. Take this from a vet student. Zoonotic diseases are no joke. Toxoplasmosis can easily kill your child if she contracts it. Even if infections are rare, contracting it and passing it to the fetus can and will be the end of your child. Which is more favourable, scooping some cat litter or risking the life of your unborn child? And Don't Run Red says, you're the arsehole. All the woes of the minor inconvenience of picking up an extra chore to help to protect the woman you love, who is carrying the fetus that will hopefully grow into the child you love too. P.S. If you think scooping cat litter is a pain in the butt, I have bad news for you about diapers. And Minimum Influence says, for 9 months your wife will experience nausea, cramping, fatigue, sleep deprivation, increased urination, increased body temperature, kicks and aches and pains all over her body while pregnant. Oh, and of course, she still has to birth that child before bleeding for close to a month afterwards. Clearly, she is looking for an easy way out and just lazy, right? No, you're 150% the arsehole. And Tistic says, you're the arsehole. Cat feces can contain a parasite harmful to pregnant folk. And quotes, cat litter and cat poo can contain a parasite that causes toxoplasmosis infection. Although it's very rare, if you get toxoplasmosis for the first time when you're pregnant or a few months before you get pregnant, the infection can pass to harm your unborn baby, cause miscarriage or stillbirth. And then says, also, you shouldn't scoop litter because you don't like it, but she should despite the fact she might get this parasite. Extra, you're the arsehole for that. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for rescinding my offer for my daughter to move in? My daughter, 39 female, lives one state over. She decided to move across there because she was following her boyfriend, the father of her 4-year-old daughter, who promised he would marry her once he gets his big dream job. Now a house that she bought with her boyfriend is in foreclosure because she woke up like a year ago to find that her boyfriend, who ended up doing nothing but spend their money, had just skipped town. She had been out of work for a while. She says she wants to get a job near her hometown and begged me for a place to stay. She was begging and crying that kept me on the phone long enough to finally give in and say yes. However, my girlfriend, who lives with me mostly on weekends because she has 2 more years before her son leaves the house, was listening to my end of the conversation from outside the door, and she came in and asked what the hell was going on. I explained my daughter's situation and my girlfriend absolutely flipped out. She said she's been done with the drama of having a 4-year-old kid for the last 12 years and that she will not live with a stranger in the house. She said my daughter is obviously really bad at making decisions and brought this all on herself, and that as a mother she shouldn't feel entitled to handouts. I tried to quell the argument and reach some kind of compromise, but my girlfriend can be the type of person who can argue with you as long as there isn't any semblance of conversation going on between the two of us. My girlfriend screamed that she was not going to deal with somebody who is the poster child of baby daddy drama and that she will die on this hill. I finally gave in and called my daughter and said that I help her find a job, but she needed to take care of everything else by herself. When my daughter protested, I told her that she did end up bringing the single mum situation on herself. Am I the arsehole? Oh god. Now I might be totally wrong and coming out with this straight away. The girlfriend in this situation sounds toxic as hell. That might be just the vibes I was getting from this story and I might be totally wrong there, but she sounds really toxic. But yes, you're definitely the arsehole in this situation. This is your daughter you're talking about, man. Come on now. But Fleet Dancer says you're the arsehole, and I'm shocked, I tell you, that a woman whose father doesn't give 2 shits about her ended up making poor choices about men. And Cad Monkey Mafia says your girlfriend is the arsehole, and you would be the arsehole if you go along with her. Your daughter is not a stranger. She is your daughter. Your girlfriend needs to understand she doesn't get to date you and separate you from the rest of your family. Support your daughter and be there for her in a time of need, any way that you see fit. The person you happen to be dating at the time does not make that decision for you. And Beagle Rule says you're the arsehole, your girlfriend does not even live with you. She will not be living with a stranger in her house. You gave in to your girlfriend for she was screaming and had an adult temper tantrum until she got her way. Your girlfriend is a controlling person. Like I said, this is not her house and she does not even live there. Yet she thinks she has the right to tell you who can live in your house. She has no sense of personal boundaries by her listening to your conversation. Your daughter needs help and you show the type of person you are by turning her down. You are now going to lose a daughter over the fact that your girlfriend. Is your girlfriend worth it? Do you love her enough to not be there for your daughter? How well do you get along with her kids? For they're the ones you'll be dependent on helping when you are old. I hope you like not seeing your grandchild during the holidays, for you will not be. Now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. Now once again guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy today's stories and thank you once again for being here. Absolutely amazing of you. Absolutely love it. Love hearing your comments, what you're doing while you're listening. Please keep telling me. That really inspires me to know that you're drawing, you're out working, some of you was driving across the country. And I love hearing where you're from. We've got people from Australia, US, Turkey. We had some people from China listen the other day. It's crazy to think all these different places people are listening in from. I just find it amazing. I know that sounds a bit weird, but it's crazy to me. Thank you so much for your support and everything you do for the channel, guys. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a great day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.